Well,
another year,
no Bills.
Another Super Bowl without the Bills.
Yep. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it. You know what? In spite of them not being in there, in Josh Allen's honor, I'll be putting my whole bank account on heads.
Yeah,
to make up for his loss.
Not just the entire bankroll.
No, my house.
Life savings.
Yep.
Welcome back to the Plays and Fades YouTube channel, where we will be doing our first ever Super Bowl breakdown. Anyway, we're ready to get into this, though. This is an exciting Super Bowl. These are two fan favorite teams here. I mean, you go Joe Shiesty and Jamar Chase, LSU connection. And on the other side, you got the Rams. Nobody really hates the Rams other than,
Lions fans.
NFC West fans. But nobody really expected the Bengals to be here.
Nope. They should be here.
They're here.
It should be the Bills!
But yeah, this is an exciting Super Bowl. I mean, two deep teams. One of the themes going through this video is going to be the fact that both of these teams have a lot of threats on offense, right? Pretty balanced attacks. Obviously, you got two absolute superstars in Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp on the two sides. But we've seen through the playoffs and through the season that these teams both have a bunch of other threats that they utilize quite effectively too. So, an exciting one and lots of options on your Draftkings showdown slates this weekend.
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here looking at this showdown slate, and I could make so much money if I just picked what color the Gatorade was instead. No, I'm just playing. I actually really like this slate. This is one where I'm excited to pick I'm excited to see what goes down this weekend because we do have a lot of options, like you said, on offense. This is going to be a real question. We have the Cinderella story Bengals. Who day? They're the team in the Super Bowl. They would do really. Who days? They're like their thing. It's one where they weren't supposed to be here, and they are, and they proved all doubters wrong, me myself included. But at the end of the day, they still have one of the worst O-lines in the league. Sacked 9 times against Tennessee, and they're going up against that powerhouse defense. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller. It just seems like they're going to need another. Yeah, they're going to need another miracle to win this game. Luckily, Matthew Stafford throws more interceptions than anybody else in the league.
True.
I think Jaquiqui Tart isn't there to drop the ball again.
Oh, Jaquiqui.
But I mean, let's get right into it. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Cooper Kupp. He's on the slate. He's in the Super Bowl. You cannot go wrong if you have him in your lineup. If you have him in your captain spot, he is the guy, the Triple Crown winner. Let's get that out of the way. This week for me depends on who's playing and who's not. Is Higbee playing?
Wow.
Is Uzomah playing?
Hot take.
Yeah, shut up.
Play people if they ain't playing.
The point is simple, all right? Tyler Higbee's been limited all week. If he doesn't play on Sunday, Blanton has a very, very good chance at scoring well. 4.6K, good option, all right?
Those glasses on, all you need to do is throw up a peace sign and you turn into Tyreek Hill.
Ouch. Really? Tyreek Hill? However, if you are going to take Cooper Kupp at that captain slot, you're going to need some value, and I know exactly who provides it. It's not one guy, it's a whole team. The Rams defense, 3.4K. They are a core play of mine down low. I just mentioned it. Joe Burrow gets sacked more than anybody else. Yeah, top 2.
Yeah, the combination of his very poor O-line and LA's probably best defensive line in the league means that this should be a sack fest. And because of that, we expect that the Rams defense and special teams to put up a good amount of points. So a great pick that we like lower down in this price range.
Now, we didn't do a video last week, but one thing we were pretty high on is we faded some Jamar Chase. Are we going to do that again this week?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we know that Jalen Ramsey is probably the best DB in the league, and he is going to be tasked with shutting down Chase as much as possible. I mean, the Rams play a little bit of a mix of man and zone, a lot of zone, but we expect Jalen Ramsey to get a lot of one-on-one matchups here with Jamar Chase. As we saw 2 weeks ago, in the AFC Championship game, Jamar Chase doesn't necessarily have to do the bulk of the load here on offense for the Bengals for them to be successful. They have a myriad of other weapons, and with that Jalen Ramsey matchup, we don't necessarily expect Jamar Chase to be putting up the same numbers that he was for a lot of the regular season against significantly worse defenses and against teams with weaker defensive lines that allowed Joe Burrow to have more time in the pocket to hit those bigger throws downfield to Jamar Chase.
Now, it would be absolutely beautiful to see that LSU connection come through, but like you said, tough matchup for Chase here. It's going to be tough for him. Another person who has a very tough matchup this week is Joe Mixon, all right? In my eyes, I think that's going to be a very, very negative game script for these Bengals. I think they're going to be behind. I think that it's going to be tough for Mixon to escape the wrath of Aaron Donald. And this is one where I think that Joe Burrow's going to have to pass the ball. It might not be to Chase.
Yeah.
It'll probably be towards more Boyd and Higgins. But I think that if you're going to go running back here, if you're going to go someone at that 9.6K range, save your money, get an OBJ, get a Higgins instead. I think that whereas Joe Mixon definitely has a better floor than the other running backs on the slate, it's going to be tough for him to just get in the optimal lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if that LA defense causes a couple of short drives early on in this game for this Bengals offense, it could mean that the Rams are up a touchdown or two early on in this game, which means that those running backs on the Bengals side are not going to be utilized to the same extent that they are or have been a lot of this season.
We've seen that Mixon struggle against those better run defenses. Against Denver, 7 points. Against the Bears, 8.1 points. Like it's one of these ones where he's a good player with a really good floor, and he will get those touches. But is Joe Burrow really going to want to pass the ball off to him when he wants this Super Bowl as bad as he does? When he wants to go find his boy Jamar Chase? When he wants to find his other boys who aren't Jamar Chase? It's one where we got to be careful. We got to look at our other options. Speaking of other options, Darrell Henderson Jr. is back this week. If he is a full participant this week, do we think he gets all the touches? I don't know. The one thing I do know about him is he's cheap. 1.6K. I think that all he needs is a few touches. And like we said, if they're ahead, no one wants Matthew Stafford throwing the ball to Jaquique Tart and possibly losing the game. You're going to want to play it safe. You're going to run the ball down their throats. Baker was hurt 2 weeks ago. Sony Michel's been kind of a fringe guy. Henderson might get some touches. That's just something to think about.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit tough to make that decision because of the fact that they have 3 running backs who, if Henderson Jr. is playing, have the ability to get a lot of touches on the ball, and we don't know which one of these guys will get the most touches, but that's definitely true. I mean, Henderson Jr. down here at $1,600, even if he puts up an okay amount of points, that could still be huge for your lineups because having somebody that low allows you to fill that top end of that lineup with those guys who are going to get more touches.
All right, my favorite play of the entire slate is going to be Tyler Boyd. I think he's got great value at 5.4K. I do think that Jalen Ramsey is going to limit a lot of that offense, and they're going to need T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd to go out there and score some points. He's averaging pretty good this season, around 10 points. Last week, struggled a bit, but I think he's the opportunities here. And I think that 5.4K, they're going to need to get creative and switch it up in order to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, we saw T. Higgins a little bit more targeted than him last week, but one of the things that's done is given him $2,200 higher of a salary than Boyd is here. Boyd's sitting at $5,400, Higgins up at $7,600. That means that if Boyd gets a few more of those targets than he did last week, he could definitely be worth that lower salary that he has.
And last but not least, talking about the quarterbacks, it's pretty simple in my opinion. I don't know how you're handling this one, but in cash, you're taking Matthew Stafford. In GPP, you're taking Joe Burrow. I think that most of the time, the safe game script is Stafford wins his game. Him and Kupp, along with that defense, go huge. But into that circumstance where you're able to have this miracle win by Joe Burrow, you have to think he scores high. I mean, last week, 21 points. Before that, he scored 37 points, 41 points in back-to-back weeks in regular season. It's not like he doesn't have the opportunity to score very high. And if he's going to win this game, he's going to need to score very high as well. So like I said, cash for Stafford, GPP more so for Burrow.
Yeah, in my opinion, this isn't the greatest Super Bowl for quarterbacks necessarily, right? Because Joe Burrow, we know, is probably not going to have very much time behind that O-line. And Matthew Stafford could throw 6 picks in this game.
And still
win. So this is definitely a Super Bowl where maybe neither of these quarterbacks will put up huge scores. But yeah, as you said, Matthew Stafford, definitely the safer play in cash. I think it makes a lot of sense. But if you are living on that LSU dream, Joe Burrow does have the ability to put up a huge game here.
One last question for you though. Are we going to have any Money McPherson in this showdown lineup?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Honestly, I say just put him at captain and be done with it, man.
Let's end it off right here. Our 3 core plays of the day. Cooper Kupp, of course. If you don't have him, what are you doing? Tyler Boyd, good value. And finally, that Rams defense at 3.4K. Those are 3 plays I'm going to be having in a lot of my lineups. I love that. Before we exit this thing, one thing I got to ask you. What color is the Gatorade?
Red.
Red? Okay. I'm going to go orange.
Ooh.
I'm going to go orange. Classic.
Spicy.
Classic. I think if the Bengals win, there's a much better chance.
Ooh.
It's a classic color.
Maybe blue. Maybe blue's Is that the sucker bet though?
Yeah, probably sucker bet. Over under
National anthem
time. This is the lowest set total.
I know, it's like what,
1:39? The national anthem singer is called Quickie Mickey.
I think you gotta respect it and go under here.
Under? Wow. I think it's gonna go over. I think it's gonna keep the trend. It's your moment. It's your time to shine.
No, you're right. It's probably over here.
If you guys want to know any more about the props I'm playing, I'll tweet some out as a joke beforehand. My favorite one: will Snoop Dogg light a joint during his performance?
I believe so.
All right, that's going to do it for us on the Place and Fades YouTube channel. If you have any more questions, you know where to find me, at GamblesGordo on Twitter, at PlaceFades. It's going to be fun. Drink responsibly. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be jumping through a table. Maybe next year the Bills will be there, but I'm okay. I'll survive. I hope it's going to be a great game. I hope you guys all enjoy it, and let's make some money. Bing.